Hi there. So I wanted to demystify interest rates a little bit for you. I get a lot of questions from buyers about interest rates and how does that work, etc. So today I want to talk about three main things. The first one is, how are they determined, how are rates determined on a daily basis, how are rates determined based on your case, and then thirdly, what happens when you lock a rate. So let's start with the first one. So interest rates, let me minimize this a little bit. Interest rates are a marketplace, okay? The rates are actually determined every day. Sometimes the rates will go up and down throughout the day, okay? So a quote that you get in the morning may not be the same quote in the afternoon. A quote today may not be the same rate tomorrow. It may go up, it may go down. It's like the stock market keeps going up and down and bobs up and down, and here's an illustration of that. So here's the market, and actually on the rate bond market here, this is mortgage bonds. Going down actually means that rates are rising. If the chart goes up, then that means rates are dropping. It's a little confusing, a little counterintuitive. So that much on daily fluctuations of rate. Just be aware of that rates are fluctuating consistently throughout the day. Some days are very quiet, so there's only once that the rates come out. But then other days, there's two or three times that new rates get published, as we call it. Number two, so the rates you see on TV a lot of times are what I call teaser rates, and once you make an application, those rates all of a sudden are no longer available. So the rates you see on TV does not mean you're going to get that rate, and also it a lot of times is an unrealistic rate. So be careful when you see that. Rates differ from person to person. They also differ by your location. So rates in California are going to be different than rates in Texas. And rates even may vary from locations within the state as well. Okay, and so rates are based on your personal financial picture. They're also based on what kind of home you're buying, condo versus single family home versus whatever investment property, etc. And so until you make an application with the lender won't be able to determine what your rate is. So if you're calling around saying, hey, what's the rate going to be? It's really not an accurate reflection of what your rate will be. Okay, so don't call around saying, hey, what's your rate today? Because that's not going to tell you anything. Okay. Thirdly, what happens when you actually lock a rate? When can you lock a rate? What does that mean? A rate lock is really a reservation. You're really reserving your rate in a pool of mortgages that are going to be sold to the investor. Okay, so you're reserving an XYZ rate for that day for a period of time. Okay. That period of time can be 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Obviously, the longer that lock is in place, probably your rate will go up. If you think about a risk reward, the market is committing to you at 3.25% today, but they don't know what's going to be in 60 days. So they're going to say in 60 days, we're going to probably charge you more for that risk. That because rates may be higher by then, right? Or they may be lower, could be as well. So rates are typically locked in once we have a closing date. So once you're under contract, that's when we really start discussing when to lock, what a good day to lock is, what a good rate might be that we're targeting, that we want to get to, and how realistic are we to get there. So that's where you and I will have to talk a lot about, where do we stand? Reserving a rate means locking a rate, and the duration has a big impact on the actual rate. So most of the time you lock for 30 days. Sometimes you lock for 15 days because the rate gets better. Rarely do you lock longer than 30 days because the rate tends to go up after 30 days. I hope that demystified some of the terminology and the ins and outs of interest rates. And if you want to discuss this further, obviously call me. And I'm going to put up my number here. And there's a lot more to all this than what I discussed, but I just kind of wanted to go over the basics with you and give you kind of a background. So Here we are at 5 minutes long, and thank you for your time. Like I said, reach out to me at this number if you have any questions about all this, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.